Hey you guys, AJ here. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing good. And in our previous video, we were able to make a scriptable object and we were able to make these sprites of the sword and the shield appear in our inventory using that scriptable object. In today's video, we are gonna make this character um, pick these items up, and these items are gonna basically contain the scriptable object of the sword and the shield. And when they pick them up, they're gonna pop up in our inventory like this. And we are also going to have a small radius within which the character will be able to pick these items up. So you can see that the character, when he moves out of this radius, say he's out of the radius now, and if he tries to pick this up, he won't be able to. But once he gets back in the radius, he is going to be able to pick this up, and it is going to appear here in the inventory. So yeah, and we are also going to keep everything tagged like everything that is previously done. We will be still able to move the item around. If we move it outside the canvas, it is going to snap back to the original position, and if we move it to a different slot, it is going to snap to that slot. And we can also swap the items around, so everything's going to be working fine. But we just add this extra feature of picking the item up and then making it appear in the inventory. So it's going to be really fun. And by the way, what do you think of this cool character I just made? Hope you like it. So without further ado, let's get to the video.
Guys, yeah, in scripts, I'm gonna create a new folder, and I'm gonna call this pickup, and we're gonna keep all the scripts related to pickup inside this folder. So let's create our first C# script, and this is gonna be pickup. Here in the pickup script, we're gonna need a reference to the item and the player inventory. So let's say item, and player inventory. Now on a way, let's set the player inventory to the component player inventory in our player game object. So let's say that player equal to game object dot find game object with tag player, and inventory equals player dot get component player inventory.
Now in this script we don't need an update, so let's delete that. Now we are gonna need a public method to pick up items. So okay, void. Just gonna call it pickup item. Here we are gonna have a boolean variable found slot, and this is gonna become true if we check the inventory and there is a empty slot for the item to go in. And then this variable is gonna become true. And if this variable becomes true, we are just gonna destroy the game object from the world. So if found slot destroy game object. Okay. Now if we see the player inventory script, we already have a method to find slot, that is add item to first empty slot, and we just pass in the item and it checks for the first empty slot if there is any, and adds the item to that. So we set this up in the previous video, go check that out if you haven't already, but we're just going to use that here. So inventory dot add item to first empty slot, and we just pass in the item. Now in the item script which we made earlier, I'm gonna add a new field of type pickup and call this pickup equal to null. Now here I'm gonna create a new method to spawn a pickup in the world. And here we are just gonna pass in the position where we want to spawn the pickup. Or we could also spawn the pickups randomly. Check out some of my videos on randomly spawning items in the world for doing that. And here we are gonna just say pickup equals instantiate this dot pickup pickup dot transform dot position equal to the position that is passed down here. Pickup dot setup, which is a method we need to create, but let's just say pickup dot setup equals passing down this, which is again a pickup, which is again an item. So we are gonna pass in the item to a setup method which is to be defined in the pickup script, and we're just returning pickup here. Now let's go and make the setup method in the pickup script. So for that we are just gonna say void setup, and here we are gonna get an item, and this item is gonna set up the item over here. So this dot item equals item. Now as for where we call this spawn pickup method, we are gonna need to create a new script for that. So let's head back to Unity and do that. I'm gonna create a new script, and this is gonna be called pickup spawner. Here in the pickup spawner, we are not gonna need a start, but we're just gonna need an awake. And in awake, we are just gonna call a function spawn pickup, which we will make in a bit. But before that, we need a reference to item. So item equal to null, and this need to be added in from Unity. So let's make it serialized here. Now let's make the spawn pickup method. Here we are gonna say that spawn pickup equals item dot spawn pickup. So we got the spawn pickup method in the item, and we just pass in the position. So that's transform dot position. So we get the spawn pickup, and we just set the parent of the spawn pickup to the game object. It contains the pickup spawner script on it. So okay. Spawn pickup equal spawn pickup dot transform dot set parent transform, and that's about it, guys. Back in Unity, now we are gonna create an empty game object, and we are just gonna call this pickups. Now we are gonna create another empty child to this game object, and this is gonna be pickup spawner, and we are gonna attach the pickup spawner script to this, and we are gonna make this a prefab by dragging and dropping it in the prefabs folder. Now let's just duplicate this, and for the first one I'm gonna name it as shield, and the second one I'm gonna name as blade. Now I'm gonna add the item, which is a scriptable object. So blade for blade and shield for shield. Now I'm gonna create a 3D, let's say, cube. Let's reduce the size of this cube. So I'm just gonna say 0.5 on all axes, and let's just give this a smooth yellowish color. Now I'm gonna drag it and drop it into the prefabs folder, Now I'm gonna delete this cube from the scene, and we just have a cube here. So let's rename this to pickup and attach the pickup script to this. Now let's go to our resources folder where we have the scriptable object, blade, and shield. So let's select these and add the pickup, the cube we just created, to the pickup field we have here. And hit save. Pickup is gonna be instantiated for the shield and blade we have on the scene. And there you go. There's a pickup instantiated to both the shield and the blade. Okay. I'm just gonna add a rigid body to the cube game object we have. We don't want them floating around in the scene like that. And I'm just gonna freeze the rotation on all axes. Now in the player folder inside scripts, I'm gonna create a new script. And this is going to be called interact, and this is going to make our player interact with the pickup game object. So we start working on the interact script. Let's just make a radius within which we can pick the object up. We don't want our character to click on the object like 10 kilometers away and then be able to pick it up. So I'm just going to add a field here, float. And let's call this pickup radius, and I'm just gonna set the value to, let's say, 3. Now I'm gonna create a public method to get this radius from other scripts. So let's call this get pickup radius. Pretty basic stuff, and it's gonna return a float because our pickup radius is a float. And it's just gonna return the pickup radius. Now let's just use the gizmos to draw a circle along the radius so we can pick the object up so that we can visualize it in Unity. On draw gizmos selected, and let's say the color gizmos dot color equal to, let's set it to red. So color dot red, gizmos dot draw wire sphere, transform dot position, pickup radius. Now here in the interact script, we don't need a start actually, so let's delete that. Let's delete the commented outline here, and in the update we're gonna say ray equals camera dot main dot screen point to ray input dot mouse position. So this is gonna give us the coordinates where the mouse is pointing to. Raycast hit if physics dot raycast ray out. So if our mouse pointer hits on any object, it is gonna give us that object in hit. And here we're gonna check if put dot get mouse button down 0. So this is gonna check if when the mouse pointer was pointing at a game object, the mouse button was clicked. So 0 means left or right. I don't really remember. Let's just check it out later. And here we are gonna say pickup item equal to hit dot transform dot get component pickup. So the game object which is being hit, if it is a pickup, if it has a script pickup attached to it, then it is going to be assigned to this item. Then we are going to make the player look at the item before picking it up. So transform dot look at new vector 3 item dot transform dot position on x, and we are going to set the y-axis to 0, and the z-axis is going to be item dot transform dot position dot set. Oh yeah, here it should be input.get mouse button instead of input.get button down. That was why it was showing a small red line under the 0. Okay. And here we're just going to say item dot pickup item, because we already made a pickup item method in our pickup script, so that's going to be working. Now I'm just going to create a method to calculate the distance between the player and the item he is trying to pick up. So public float, let's call this pickup distance, and we are just going to be passing in the item here, and this is just going to return vector 3 dot distance item dot transform dot position comma transform dot position, because the interact script is going to be attached to our player. And before picking up the item, we are just going to check if pickup distance of the item we are going to pick up is less than or equal to item dot get pickup radius, so that we can make sure that the player is in the vicinity of the item before picking it up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now let's go back to Unity and see if this works. Now back in Unity, I'm just going to select all the player characters and attach the interact script and hit play and see what happens. So guys, now if we walk towards the items and let's open up our inventory. So we have two items, a blade and a shield in the first two inventory slots. Now if we try to pick this up, we can see that an extra blade is getting spawned in the at least the sprite is appearing in the third and the first empty slot in our inventory. So that's pretty damn cool. Now let's try clicking on this item. Let's just open up the inventory, and now I'm just gonna click it, and yeah guys, shield has appeared in our inventory. So that's pretty damn cool. Everything's working fine because we are able to move these around to different slots, swap these items. So yeah, and we can even try to move it outside the inventory and it snaps back to the slot we picked it up from. So yeah guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching it. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up and let me know your thoughts in the comments. In future videos, we'll be working on making the character equip these items. So we are going to need to make a blade and a shield for that. I'll be posting videos on equipping these items. soon. So stay tuned for that. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and give me a subscribe. That would be really helpful. So until next time, it's been fun. Thank you. Good luck. See you. Bye.